Hey everybody, welcome back to After the Midnight.
This week we're going to be discussing track 2 off of Endless Summer, Sunset.
So if you're a fan of the Midnight, you've had to have heard this song.
Yep, I think if you go and look at Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere where you can stream music, this is either their most popular song or up there in the top 3 most popular. It's the closer at every single live show that they have. Definitely a fan favorite across the entire community. I thought it was interesting with some of the outreach we've done online. It's a lot of people's favorite song overall by them, or the song that introduced them to the Midnight too. I've seen that as a pretty common theme.
The first time I heard Sunset by the Midnight was on a car ride with my dad. My dad had showed me the Midnight previously, and he continued to show me more songs, and he was playing Sunset. The sun was literally setting. It was the golden hour, had all the windows down, just driving straight into the horizon, straight into the sunset, just me and my dad. It's definitely something that we bond over now, and I'm very grateful for that.
In our research for this, we didn't find a whole lot, but we did come across a quote Tyler said, "Now that song started at a cheap motel in Burlington, Vermont.
There were crowbar marks on the door frame.
I thought, now this would be the first stop for a couple of kids who faked their deaths and went on the run."
Just interesting when you think about the limited lyrics that we hear in track 1, like this Polaroids, this ending of the summer. Should have known at the end of summer I'll be lost without you. And it's like, now I take it as like they really didn't want summer to be over, like two kids just on the run, like faked our deaths, lit a match, closed the door, waited for the flash.
Yep, there's definitely some similarities between the two songs. He even mentioned, bad girls in both songs. Yeah, I think it just carries the theme of the album, and Endless Summer is really kind of just a intro, and then this is the first story in that chapter, I feel.
It's almost, if you think about, if you go back to Days of Thunder and you think about the year's prologue, almost like Endless Summer was the prologue to this. And then if you take the name even literally, like, what if they just decided we're the ones in charge of our destiny, we're gonna make this an endless summer? Like, that was the take on it. Like, gonna fake our deaths, go on the run, summer's never gonna be over, sunsets, no regrets.
No, that's a really good point. I hadn't really thought about that either. I think that it definitely carries on the theme there of the endless summer, not wanting it to end. This is like a runaway song, anthem. It just makes you feel good.
This is the most nostalgic summer vibes I get thus far. In the Midnight, it's just such a happy feeling, windows down, cruising the beach kind of song. But then when you think about some of the lyrics, like, the faked our deaths, lit a match, all that kind of stuff, it's kind of like a darker theme almost, but it's just wrapped in this super happy sounding package with this giant anthemic chorus to it. It's just an interesting, like, half in light, half in dark kind of dichotomy there. It's like some darker lyrics in certain parts. I feel like he even kind of says that when he's like, they say it's darkest before the dawn. Life is so bad, or I'm coming from such a bad situation, like, let's just start over together and make this our endless summer.
I'd say this is the second or third song I heard by them. As I may have mentioned before, Jason was the very first song I heard by them, and then I really wanted to check out Endless Summer and their other hits. And yeah, this song, just captures you from the first lyrics onward.
I think what pulled me into this song is, I think I saw, there's so many awesome fan videos on YouTube that people have put together from, old movies and stuff like that. And I think that this had come up as a related video on something, and I just happened to look at the screen at the time, and it was like the perfect scene with the sample that we hear in the beginning of the song, and it just completely caught my attention. And then that guitar comes in. It's just such an infectious song. Like, I can see why it's so high up there on their list of popular songs, because it's just such an anthem, man. It's just like same vibes as Los Angeles. It's just, you just want to sing along to it. It's got to be so fun to see this live, and especially because they really put it at the very end of the set. Like, they'll do their proper set, do Los Angeles or something like that, come out, do an encore, do a few songs, and then just end on such a bang like this and get the whole crowd singing with them. And that's just got to be such an epic feeling. How could you not have just so many good memories tied to this song as a Midnight fan?
So speaking of memories, this is actually the first song I think I showed to you.
I kind of had a feeling, like I was actually thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I bet this is the one.
On my birthday, whenever we went out and we were coming back from being out and eating and everything, I had put this on, and you're like, man, this is a cool song.
You think back to that night, like those vibes actually fit this song perfectly. Like it was your birthday's in August. It was a summer night, a nice night. You rented the Tesla. We went over to a really cool spot across the river where you can like be outside, and we very much just like had the vibe that the instruments in this song give me, just like a nice, happy summer night.
So with that said, let's jump right into this.
And just as a reminder, last episode we talked about it, but we actually have the stems for this entire record. And what that means is that we have a track-by-track breakdown of every sound in the song. So as we play through the song, we're going to highlight some of our favorite sounds and give you some insight on some sounds that maybe you've never heard before, or maybe that you've never picked up on. So listen for that. So here we get the Tangerine Dream ARP. Cool call out to Tangerine Dream too, if no one's ever listened to them.
So the drums.
I gotta say, these give me a total Billie Jean vibe.
So this is the main pad, which we hear, you know, kind of sneaking in at the beginning here.
My whole life. There must be something else out there, waiting, you know? Just for us.
Here's a mysterious sample at the beginning of the song.
We could run away. Just leave. And never look back. I don't even care where we go. Just far away from here.
1, 2,
I'll come with you.
2, 3, 4.
And then we get the yells. It's one of the main driving parts of this song. Just the, yeah! Makes you feel,
Faked our deaths, lit a match, close the door.
And get the
waited for
synth
the
bass here.
flash. Greyhound station, paid in cash. It's Lazarus, we coming back.
So this is bell. That's the name of the stem, but it actually sounds like glockenspiel bells to me. It's a type of percussion instrument.
They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle, even bad girls, no good love. It tastes so sweet, it hurts a little. Make our home where we stand. One suitcase and half a plan. Follow the wolves and sing along. Past the voices to the song. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle, even bad girls, no good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little.
here is the guitar solo.
What's cool about this song is that guitar solo is a feature. The gentleman's name who actually plays the solo is Johannes Jorgensen, a musician who Tim has played with in the past.
They're part of a production group together called DK, which Tim had been a part of even before the Midnight. They produced for The Wanted, Diddy, New Kids on the Block. Plenty of people that are well known they produced for. So that sample at the beginning really sets up the mood for the song. The perfect, I want to get away, I want to escape kind of vibe.
What we hear there is, I feel like I've been stuck here my whole life. There must be something else out there waiting, just for us. We could run away. I mean, I think that's any small town kid's dream, You've never been, more than 20 minutes away, or you've been stuck in this town for far too long, just like Tyler says, and you just want to get out there and experience life and experience the world, The rebellion of that is captured so well in the sample, and it's like, let's just go, let's make our own destiny, let's get out of here. And whether you're going to do it in a Bonnie and Clyde way, or whether you're just going to go on a road trip, or whatever comes of these two in this song, like, it's just such a cool way to start the song off. They bring in the guitar in nice and slow, and then everything just hits, and it's just such a good feeling. And I know that online there for years people have been trying to figure out what that's from, and just have to stay a mystery for forever.
As far as the lyrics, what you're saying about the small town, wanting to escape it, it actually makes me think, Tyler grew up kind of in a small town, and I was listening to, I think it was actually one of his solo Bandcamp things where he does some talking points at the end, and he's talking about how his grandfather, doesn't really even know what he does. He's like, oh, this is my grandson from New York. And he kind of treats him as like, I don't know, other than, because he moved out of the city. And I think it's interesting that, the inspiration for this is Tyler's upbringing probably, and him wanting to get away, and he did get away. He went to Los Angeles, he lived in New York. The two biggest hubs in the US, he went and experienced both of those. And I think that's awesome. One thing about Tyler is he's a very well-read dude. For the people that have subscribed to his Bandcamp, you definitely know this. He does almost like podcast stuff at the end of each album, and you can just tell he's always reading. I love that because it makes their music so much better. The Midnight released a demo of this song to an ARG that they ran last year, so let's take a listen to that. Drums are definitely better on the final.
No sample. No guitar.
faked our deaths, lit a match,
Wow.
closed the door, waited for the flash. Greyhound station, paid in cash. Miss Lazarus, come on back.
Oh, those are different.
They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls love good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little.
Ooh.
Make our home where we stand. One suitcase and half a plan. Follow the wolves and sing along till there are no voices, just a song. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls love good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little.
The vocals were definitely a different recording. What's interesting, it seems like he was singing it more in like a faster kind of vibe, where in the final version he's more lets his vocals stretch a little bit longer.
Sunset, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls love good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little.
What do the fans have to say about this? So Jens from the Midnight Wiki said the first time he heard this, he was selling t-shirts at a LAN event,
Shout out to LAN parties.
and it came on a playlist. Yeah, shout out to LAN parties. Wow. The Give Me 5 podcast, they said it was just a random Bandcamp find while they were sitting in their house. We were undergoing construction. We had cardboard on the floor. I was letting my toddler draw on it while we listened to music. I think it's interesting how music can really, first time you hear something, you can still remember that moment. And you know that's a special song whenever that happens.
Totally. That's when you know it's a good song. And shout out to Give Me 5 podcast. Whenever they sent us that, I went and listened to a couple episodes of theirs today. They talk about a lot of different 80s and 90s, just nostalgia kind of mixed with current events. It's really interesting format. And I dug it. So shout out to those guys.
Others said it was most likely the same live stream that I discovered the band on. I even asked the guy what the band was, and that's how I found out. One of the best questions I've ever asked. What's really cool about the Midnight is they're really open to their music being used on Twitch and other streaming platforms, which is awesome because that's such a good outreach for them. Such a good way to promote their music. So many Twitch people have huge audiences, and these people are playing it. It's just, I don't know why more people don't do it.
We wouldn't be able to do this podcast if they weren't so generous with their music. Port City Boy 9 on Twitter said that they heard it for the first time after they discovered them on Time Cop 1983's album. The song Static. Immediately went to look them up, and The Summer was the first album that I listened to. As they say, the rest is history. So that's awesome. My buddy Francois said that it was 2018. He was driving on the highway. He was moving from Paris to Strasbourg, and two of his best friends who were helping him move put on Sunset, and he had never heard the band before. They sang their heart out on the first chorus, and then he joined them in on the second, which is super cool because he's one of the people that helps run the Midnight France. Check them out on Instagram. They've been really, really awesome ever since we started this. You guys have heard from Francois and Benoit, who are both in that group.
So that was Sunset, the most popular song by the Midnight.
Thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. We're super glad to be into season 2 now and the summer. Really glad to cover Sunset. And I will say, just on a production side, with as popular as this song is, it definitely remains kind of a enigma. When we were doing our research for this episode and trying to find some background on how it was written and things like that, there's not a lot of stuff out there. For as popular of a song as this is, it is still very much a mystery of kind of how it came to be. It was fun going through it. It was really fun hearing that demo version for the first time, learning some background about DK and Johannes, playing on the track, going through the lyrics and the stems too was also awesome. I just want to say to you guys, thank you so much again for your support. It feels really good to be into this album now. If you guys are new here on our YouTube channel, definitely subscribe. We put out new videos every Friday, going through every song on the Midnight's catalog in chronological order. I think we did this one justice. I'm excited to get into Daytona next week.
Yeah, Daytona is really the first all-instrumental track from the Midnight that we hear in chronological order, and it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because we get some really... This is a song that I like to put on when I want to drive and it's nighttime, or I want to go fast or something like that, or it even just gives you like those classic video game vibes. But we'll save that for next week. Thank you all so much. We'll catch you next week.
Yep, thanks everybody. See you in the next one.
Peace.